Aisha, a woman of substance, sharp, intelligent, and wise. Aisha, the youngest and the most beloved wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Aisha, the mother of the believers. She taught the flag bearers of Islam, gave religious rulings as well as religious advice. Az-Zubair said about Aisha, I never saw anyone more knowledgeable of the Quran, Islamic law, poetry, Arab history, and lineages than Aisha radiallahu anha. Such was her status and honor in the Muslim world. But she was married when she was just 9 years old. How can a person be married at 9? Was Aisha really married at the age of 9? Or was it 12, 18, or 22? Obviously, they didn't have marriage certificates in those days. So how do we know? A thorough research on this topic from the most authentic canonical books of hadith makes it evident that Aisha herself reported that her husband, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, consummated his marriage with her at the age of 9 years. That's still too young. It's vulgar, it's unethical and immoral. How can a prophet of God marry someone that young? What we first have to understand and realize is that this question is emanating from a particular mind, coming from a particular culture, a particular time, and a particular place. The worst enemies of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who smeared him with everything imaginable. They called him a madman, a magician, a soothsayer, an impostor, and so much more. But they couldn't think of his marriage with Aisha as a flaw. Why? It is because cultures and practices vary from place to place and from time to time. This was their tradition, and it was not an anomaly to marry someone that young, not just in Arabia, but all over the world. The reality is that 1,000 years ago, people were marrying at younger ages. Let's have a look at the historical data that we have. Roman law required brides to be at least 12 years old. Saint Augustine married a 10-year-old girl. King Richard II in 1396 married a 7-year-old. Further up in time, in 1791, the Napoleonic Code set the age of consent at 11. In the United States, in the state of Delaware, in 1880, the minimum age for marriage was 7 years old, and in California, it was 10. Before 1929, the Church of England could marry off 12-year-old girls in Britain, and this is not even 1400 years ago. It was the practice of the Arabs to marry off their daughters at a young age. That is, as soon as they reached puberty. Ash-Shafi'i said, in Yemen, I saw many girls aged 9 who had reached puberty. Why are we looking at the tradition from a postmodern lens? Shouldn't we put things in their proper perspectives? The reality is that 1,000 years ago, people matured faster, both physically and emotionally. A 9-year-old of today is not the same as a 9-year-old 1400 years ago. Some 500 years ago, Muhammad al-Fatih, at age 21, conquered Constantinople, whereas the 21-year-olds in our time are busy playing video games. Rather, it is unethical and immoral to demonize a certain culture from a certain time period just because it does not fit with our postmodern understanding. The marriage of Aisha and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was infused with compassion and untold moments of romance. He loved her immensely and never shied away from declaring it publicly. He would drink from the side of the glass her lips had touched. He would eat from the same spot she ate from. If she was a victim of a gruesome act for 9 years, wouldn't she be dysfunctional, disoriented, and mentally scarred? Would she have been able to narrate the volumes of ahadith that she did? Would she have been able to teach the scores of students under her? And most of all, would she defend her husband, the beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with such severity when his enemies cursed him? Today, this is a marriage which many choose to slander and abject. But have you acquainted yourself with the truth?